Hi guys, it's your girl here, Ada B, and welcome to the Talks with Ada B show. And we are so blessed today to have two wonderful guests, a hip hop duo, Neo Soul hip hop duo, all the way from the United States of America. Joining us on the couch, we have Black Stax.
Hey, all right.
Hi guys. How are you both?
Good. How are you feeling?
Good.
Good.
How have you guys been finding Europe so far?
So far, so terrific.
Yes,
Responses have been good.
Yes.
Shows have been building
Love that.
in terms of just like the dynamics of the music, with working with our musicians, Greg Fields and Sydney Johnson, and having road management, having a team, having
Yes.
a driver, and that growing, and
Love that.
our sound getting stronger.
Yeah.
And the people have just been receptive,
Love
so
that.
receptive
Yeah.
to the sound and listening to, even though sometimes not understanding every lyric, listening to the messages in between the music as well. So
I love that.
that's how it's been.
That sounds really, really good. And there's nothing better than when you kind of cross overseas, you come out of your comfort zone and people receive you,
Absolutely.
and receive the work that you put out there.
Absolutely.
I think also it's really difficult sometimes to want to get up and get out. Did you guys find at any point you were struggling, or you thought, you know what, maybe we're taking a step too far. Maybe we need to just hold off and wait, build up more of a fan base, build up more of a listenership, because nowadays everybody's obsessed with numbers, having sort of like the followers and the Spotify listens and things like that. Or were you guys just sort of like, hey, you know what, we've got good music, we know there are people that want to listen to it, and let's just go?
A little bit of both, I
Yeah.
think, played a role in that. Making connections with people before we came over is
Yeah.
very important.
Yes,
Like
yeah.
a DJ King Flow or
Yeah.
Revolver Concentrieri
Yeah.
or, So Far Sounds or
Yeah.
whatever, making those connections. And then at
Yeah.
the same time, knowing that you got dope music.
Yes.
And, it's music that's worldly music. It's
Yeah.
not limited to a local scene or just limited to the States.
Yeah.
But it's music that we want to share with the world. And the goal has always been to travel the world and share our music.
Love that.
So it's never been a thing of like, oh, we're not at 1 million sales, so we can't go overseas. I mean, that's for those who, have other obligations to fill. To us,
True.
I always say that, the people make the others pay attention. The
Yes.
people are who makes the companies pay
That's-
attention.
yeah,
And
love
so
that.
if the people are on your side,
Yeah.
people organically are loving what you're doing.
Yes.
Those others will show up and then want to be a part
Very
of that.
true.
You
Yeah.
know, and so we call this tour No Excuses for a reason.
Yeah.
There's no excuses. We're
Love
here.
that.
Challenges.
Yeah.
The journey is up and down sometimes. Some days
Awesome.
are better than
Yeah.
others. But ultimately, we wanted to get back and get our music back out to those who are willing to receive it. And so
I love
far, so
that.
good.
No, I really love that. That's really awesome. And I think it's so important what you said there about like no excuses, because I think, especially as creatives, sometimes we can be stuck in that loop of like wanting to perfect our craft and, just wanting it to be right when people hear it.
Right.
But a lot of the time what you find out, if you look at at least some of my favorite songs, they're always like interludes or drafts or things that never made the final cut on the album.
That's right.
Because actually that was where, you kind of were more explorative. You gave more of yourself. There was no filter, there was no boundary, there was no one saying, okay, stop there, say this instead, or, and it was a natural flow. And I feel like sometimes we forget that when we are communicating music, we are communicating to people.
And I think, that's important for who's on your team.
Yes,
Who is rolling with you, who believes
Yeah.
in what you're doing regardless of numbers. They know the essence of it. They know the core of it.
Right.
So like we got a person like Mira Craft
Yeah.
who helps put it together, right?
Love
Helps
that.
us put this tour together. We use our relationships, but it's also about, expanding that when we travel. Who are we meeting?
Yes, yeah.
Who did we meet in Manchester? Who did
Yeah.
we meet in Italy? Who did we meet in France?
Love that.
And those things matter too. So ultimately, it's about a team. It's about the people who believe in you. It's about yourself knowing that you can do it.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And having that. And even if you don't succeed on the level of those, how come you're not doing 5,000 people shows?
Right.
Well, I'm doing 50 people shows, and all 50 of those people support us and
Yes.
will all give us $1 a month. That's more
Absolutely.
important than the 5,000 that will never ever come back.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
it's
Yes, so important. And I actually love the way you've described that, because it just, a word came to mind when you were speaking, the word integrity.
Yes.
And I feel like in this, game of music, I feel like sometimes people lose that integrity because they become so desperate to be seen by the 5,000,
Right.
and to be validated by people that, they either aspire to be or looked up to or believe are doing, what they, in turn should be doing as well. So
Right.
I think that's a really, really important trait to have. Would you guys say that you feel like you've kind of stuck to your core values, who you are, what you've wanted to kind of achieve on this journey of music?
I've learned more on this. So this is our second time traveling in Italy and in the UK.
Yes.
France was new,
Hmm.
and I've learned a lot more in terms of what where it was that there was more of a humbleness
Mm.
in terms of like the newness of it,
Yeah.
and then coming back to what it is that I thought I knew, and the changes and how that makes it more difficult for me to communicate, because now for me I will question where it is that if what's appropriate, what's not, and which should have been what it was in the first place.
Right.
When in new spaces with folks, you if they say before you come into the spot, take your shoes off, and then you kind of ignore that because I don't take my shoes off at home, then you're going against what is being done. So I found that that this is another step in the process
Yeah.
of going into how do you make sure that you are communicative in a way that can be that I can listen and that they can hear
Right.
where
Yeah.
I'm coming from besides the music.
Yeah.
Because it is besides the
Yes.
music.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
And also, I just wanted to add,
Yeah.
Felicia has said this before, but the best music is perfectly imperfect, right? When we're trying to reach perfection for who?
Yeah.
And then we start challenging ourselves that, okay, do I give in to what they want to hear,
Right.
or do I play what I think would be the dopest set,
Yes. Yeah.
right? And
Right.
sometimes you have to go with what's the dopest set.
Yes. Yeah.
And the people, if they're into your music, if they're following your catalog
Right.
and following your journey, those songs will come too.
Yeah.
But can we get to these? This is the message that we want to deliver. So is it perfect for who? And so as an artist, I think that's the biggest challenge.
Yeah.
Is trying to balance that, right? You can see this has been your number one seller, yeah, but that's not really the song that I want to push.
Right.
This is the song I want to push, and this is why I want to push it. And that's
Yeah.
why I said earlier about having a strong team.
Yes.
G
Yeah.
Fields, Sidney Johnson, strong, two person band
Right.
that sounds like 10,
Yeah.
together, able to balance the rapping, the MCing, if you will, with the song, with the songbird, and being able to do that, having the people around us that don't just want to take care of us, but want to see us achieve.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. And I think, I wish actually that more artists would take that leap of faith on themselves, because a lot of great music is still undiscovered. And it is because, they are looking outwardly instead of looking inwardly. And that just, as you're speaking, I was just starting to think, how is it that you guys came to know that this was something that you even wanted to share with people?
As far as the music,
Yes. Yeah.
well, I started out as a fan of Felicia Loud.
Yeah.
Watch her perform. We were in a group. I would watch her and go see her at a place called Langston Hughes Performing Arts Center in Seattle,
that.
Washington.
Yeah.
And that's the first time I saw it. I was like, who's this little woman, this powerful voice that has no shoes on, right, that's blowing the crowd away. And so it was like, oh, and then I got to see her do some theater. Right? She also does theater.
Amazing.
And so I got to, watch that. I was like, oh, okay, she's actually really talented.
Yeah.
Really gifted, and became a fan of her. So before we even started to talk about music, I was a fan of her as an artist.
Amazing.
Right?
Yeah.
And then ultimately we got to the part where we had a conversation. We sat down over dinner. I was with the group called Silent Land Project at the time.
Okay. Yeah.
She was, working as a soloist at the time. I don't know if she was still with the Soul, but I think she was working more as a soloist.
Okay.
And we wanted to add the elements of what we all do. I'm a hip hop cat.
Yes,
That's
yeah.
me. 1 1 2 1 2 mic check.
Yeah.
Beatboxing, graffiti, breakdancing, all of that.
Yeah.
Peace, love, unity, having fun, b-boy stuff. So I wanted to make sure that that was implemented, but also the maturity and the elevation of it, because hip hop is still young. It's not even 50 years old
Yeah.
yet. And so, honoring the culture, I was like, okay, how do we elevate it in a way that's respectful?
Yeah.
She comes from live musicianship. She played with a band. So how do we honor those elements that go along with her
Yes.
and give her shine and her
Yes.
her standout light, if you will?
Yeah.
Right. So we had a brother by the name Owar Runga came in and was playing the horn. So you had this raw hip hop b-boy cats
Wow.
coming in with this songbird theater actress that was just super talented with this horn that just added an element of elevation and growth to all of us, and we were able to create Black Stax from that.
I love that.
So that's how it came together.
That's amazing, to be honest. And I just love how you started off by saying that, you were a fan of her first. Because it seems like nowadays everyone's afraid to be a fan of somebody, which I don't even understand, to be honest. Because for me, I'm a fan of so many people, and I'm like, the list grows every day. But because there is just so much talent, and I mean, to be honest, I don't see why I should live this experience and not experience all the gifts that other people have. Do you know what I mean? So
I just wanted to add on to that.
Yes,
that,
yeah.
That me in hip hop, in terms of like understanding it, like, MC Light was my girl, or KRS-One.
Yeah.
And me looking at hip hop from an outside perspective of the artists who are on television, not necessarily some of the artists who are around my community.
Right.
And so watching Jace with Silent Lamb, and just there was something about the naturalness of male strength, Black male strength, power, dignity, honorability, truth, and the messaging.
That's really powerful, to be honest, because I think there is a difference when, if we're being honest, Black people express themselves creatively. It's received different, it's viewed different, in a way that doesn't actually express the true nature of where we're coming from, our individual stories, and the power that comes from that. And I think oftentimes it is done intentionally to diminish that light. So it's really important actually that, when artists like yourselves stay connected to that and stay true to that and express that, because there are a community of people that are longing for that and that want to hear that. And so it's no surprise when you're saying this is your second time coming around to Europe and you're still getting that, positive reception.
That's who we are. We're survivalists. We're spiritual people. We're strong people, we're intelligent people, we're caring people, we're loving people. And at the same time, we use our creativity in that same matter, that same form. We're not apologetic. When you guys asked us why we were Black, with, somebody who came in with us, who helped us get to where we are today, Amalia Martino, and, people would be in a room and say things, and she'd be like, I don't understand how they think you guys are full of hate.
Yeah.
When you're full of love and you're full of honesty and you're full of truth and you're full of elevation, but because you're using Black, they want to know why you're separating yourself.
So on this tour so far, would you say that compared to the last time you guys came around, I know, Felicia, you mentioned already a little bit about there being elements of growth. Do you mind kind of delving into a little bit about what that growth has looked like for you? And what that means for your future in terms of your music that you're going to be creating, the people that you're going to be connecting with the next time you come back around?
The wonderful thing is that the growth started when we were in France with King Flo. Okay. And we were able to get into the studio. And I'm going to leave it at that. But that being the growth of the music, the connection of the people that we met, Tiske Sanka, and and hearing hearing the passion and watching the connection of wanting to work, like really wanting to work, not just like let me hop on your shoulders and you carry me to the next shoulder that's higher than yours, but somebody that's saying, I got this, you got that, let's work. And so that being the building, that being one of the building blocks a part of this tour.
You know, I wanted to add just really quickly.
Yeah.
For me, I think the growth started when the organization of this started. The thought of this started. Seeing that there was more interest than the last time.
Yeah.
First time we went to Italy, it was a few interests.
Yeah.
Go back, we had 5 new venues this time.
Love that.
Every venue's packed.
Yeah.
Every promoter, booking agent's like, oh, bring them back.
Yeah.
Right?
Love
but
it.
before even all that, it was like sitting down and saying, okay, we want to expand past Italy and the UK. We want to move past that. Ultimately, we want to get to Africa.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And so we'll take our steps to get there. So
Yeah.
when we get there, we're going to put our feet in the soil, in the sand, right?
Love that.
The dirt,
Yeah.
right? And so, but in the interim, are we growing before we leave? What seeds have been planted so that when we go back,
Yeah.
it's grew a little bit.
Yeah.
Then we go back a little more, it's grew a little bit taller and stronger. Then we go back and we go, wow, this is actually huge.
Yeah.
Right? And then you have something that is true to you. It's honest. The fruit that come from that tree, we know
Yes.
what that seed is.
Yes.
As
Yeah.
opposed to just eating fruit that someone's willing to give you. Because
Yeah.
it could be no good. It could be tainted. And so, you know, that's when it started just thinking about the more people interested, you know, the more coverage, even by media, independent media, the more willingness of DJs to play the records.
Yes. Yeah.
The more willingness of people to come to the shows and be like, okay, oh, that's what y'all do?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fire, right? That's filthy, as we say in Seattle, right? You know, and so it's like finding that and then being able to come over here and, you know, not running into, but making the solid connection with the DJ King Flows, him bringing in a Tisuke Sanka, and being able to do a collaboration that I can't wait for the rest of the world to hear. So now you got this French MC and this French producer DJ sitting up with these black folks from Seattle, Washington, about to put in some real work. And so those are the things. And to continue, who do we meet next?
Yes.
Who's those next artists that we come in contact with that are willing to do that work? Who's the next tapping in roots organization that we can tap in with and have these conversations and build these relationships? Who are the next media outlets that we can have sit down with and have these conversations
absolutely,
with? It just continues to grow, and as it continues to grow, that's from planting the seed, someone watering that. So you're watering the seed for us here by having us on this.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
King Flo and Sanka watering the seed in France. You know, Revolver Concentrieri, Miracraft, watering those seeds in Italy. So now when you go back, people are like, okay, I see the forest beyond the trees now.
Yes,
I can I actually can see what's happening.
Yes.
And those are the things that build relationships, would actually build people.
Absolutely. And I love what both of you have said, to be honest, because I think what's been perfectly illustrated in all the examples that you've used there of your experiences so far is the fact that we are dealing with people and how important it is to have those relationships with people. I find music to be really a sensitive thing. And I hate the fact that at the moment it kind of feels as if it's being it's this thing that could just be easily generated on a computer and just put out, and everybody would just kind of vibrate and then on to the next one. I love having those experiences. Like I've even watched some of the performances on your page and things like that, where it's a whole experience. You know, I can be immersed in something because that's just, to me, that's just how music should be. You know, I should be able to be still and really absorb what you're saying, what you're feeling. Take me on that journey with your words, with your story, with your voice. And that to me is what music should be. I feel like we all have songs that we can think of, you know, from our best days, our sad days, the days in between, the day when we fell in love, the day we broke up, and all of those motions of life. But I sometimes think about some of the new music and I'm like, I don't know where I would place any of that. So that's why it's like, it's been very important for us here at Talk Today to Be to have a playlist that actually caters to that experience.
You know, A to B, I think part of that, you know, is what people have defined as success. And so it's become really cookie cutter.
Yeah.
I love what you said. Everybody thinks because I can go in a room, make a beat, and get on a microphone that I'm an artist.
Yeah.
I tell people just because you rap don't make you hip hop.
Yes.
Right? I get to work with young people, and those are one of the things I really talk about. What's your accountability? What's your responsibility? Are you holistic? Is this a holistic experience, or are you only giving me this corner because you think that this corner is a safe place to be
Right.
because that's what they told you. I'm telling you to have a longevity, to create timeless time in this art that you say you love.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
have to challenge yourselves and get out of that corner. So I want to see you not just on this corner. I want to see you on this corner. I want to see you on this corner. I want to see you on this corner. I want to see the whole 360.
Right.
I want to see you when you're happy. I want to see you when you're sad.
Yeah.
I want to see you when you're struggling. I want to see you when you triumph. I want to see that because what that does for other people is it becomes medicine
Yes.
and it's
Yeah.
healing. Whether it's, you're going through a rough time and you just need to hear somebody that's going to give you that hardcore, or you need somebody to soften the blow. And as artists, that's a responsibility.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
those responsibilities have been taken away because, like you said, these playlists, everything sounds alike. Every BPM is the same.
Yeah.
Every story is the same.
Yeah.
Everybody looks the same.
Yes,
Everybody
yeah.
talks the same. Well, we're not cookie cutter people.
Yeah.
So how do we do that? I don't live the same. We don't live the same life. That
Right.
doesn't mean we can't have similar experiences.
Right.
It doesn't mean we can't connect. But what it means is that I should be able to share my experience in a way that is valued through my eyes and my spirit, and you should be able to receive it the same way.
And it's enjoyable.
Yes.
And I think that's something that a lot of artists don't have, is the joy in creating.
That's right.
And that's really sad. And that's exactly what you guys are exhibiting. There is genuine joy and love and passion in what you do.
Absolutely.
And there's a passion for communicating that message and sharing that joy with other people, which is, again, something that you don't even really experience today when you go to concerts and festivals. I've never been a big fan of going to such. There's only a few artists I've ever really wanted to see live, because I know for a fact when I go there, they're going to give me everything. They're not just going to stand there and we're going to just exchange the mic back and forth. But
look good, got the nice clothes on,
right. And say, oh, they look so fine. But, that's all I got from the show, So I'm saying that to say, we have Black Stax here. Don't miss out on an opportunity to listen. I play them on the Talks with the A2B radio show every single week. Even if I'm not there, it's on the playlist, and that playlist is on rotation. Make sure you check out their music. Listen to the submissions playlist, listen to the radio playlist. They're on there, and make sure you check them out. But before you guys go, I did want to play a little game with you guys, and I asked you guys to choose.
Yes.
So I think the one you chose was 3 Truths, 1 Lie. Am I right? Okay, so this is really a game just to kind of hopefully not create any tension between them, but just for us to have a little fun as listeners, as watchers. I just want to know how much they really know each other. They spend a lot of time working together, a lot of time creating good music. But sometimes when we're so busy working, we miss out on little things about each other that actually make up a lot of who we are. So I want to see if they can catch that right here with us today. So, 3 Truths, 1 Lie.
Go ahead. Let me see.
Who wants
if
to
I
start
can figure
first?
it out.
Felicia?
Okay. In South Africa, I had a baboon take my fruit.
You want me to answer if it's a lie or the truth?
Yes.
By the way?
Yep.
That's the truth.
No, that's a lie.
Oh.
Somebody else had their fruit taken.
Oh, okay. That's normal. That's normal. Somebody
This might throw him. Okay.
When I went to Jamaica with my family as a young person, I couldn't swim, but I walked out to the reef in the ocean.
You couldn't swim, but walked out to the reef of the ocean. True, that sounds like something you do.
That's true.
Love that.
Yeah. Yeah, I can
Yeah.
see that. What was here's one. My father has 4 children by 3 different women.
That's true.
My father has 4 children by 4 different women.
Oh, Lord.
Wow, she is catching you out.
That's all right. I once tried ballet.
Nah.
I did.
All right. Okay. Once.
Once, I said. I didn't say twice. I said once.
Okay. I saved the child by watching the Married to Doctors, like There's a television series called
yeah.
Married to Medicine.
Yes.
That's a
Yeah.
lie.
I did.
Wow.
I think you're saying things that just, I say one thing, you say the opposite.
No,
That's what I think.
I'm
Say the child doing what?
Well, so on the episode, this mother is cooking dinner and her children are eating. Her youngest child is going, and she's saying, "Stop before you choke." The father is sitting over there, is going, "She ain't even listening to you." She keeps doing that. She keeps hearing her. Then she starts choking. The mother comes over, turns her upside down, sticks her finger in her throat, makes a hook, and pulls down.
Is she choking? Layla.
I got her.
She said that's the way you do it. My grandson was choking. The next day, he was eating a candy bar, and he started choking, and my daughter was saying, "Raise your hands," and he's choking.
You turn him upside down?
I turned his tail upside down, stuck my finger in his throat, pulled out the candy.
Wow.
All right, I don't know about all that. His grandfather, you turning him upside down, but we will go with that one.
Well, that's fine. Thank you guys so much for playing that game. I hope, if anything, that's made you guys stronger now that you know those details about each other.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much for coming on here today. I really do appreciate you guys being here and for choosing to be here, actually, because, you know, there are so many times, there's so many places you could have been, other things you could have been doing, but I'm just really glad that you're here with me and we got to share this moment. Please let the viewers and listeners know where they can find you, stream your music, and anything else that you have coming out.
Well, it sounds like you need to stay tapped in with Ada B since we're on the weekly playlist, and we thank you for that and
Absolutely,
keeping us
yes.
in rotation
Yes.
and in the ears and
Absolutely.
the hearts of those that listen to you and the great work that you are doing. So thank you very much. I just
No
want to
problem. Yeah.
You can catch us on, social media platforms. Instagram is black, BLACK _STAX, Stax. Our website is blackstaxmusic.com. We're on Twitter. And what else?
On Facebook, but I'm not really on there. We do a lot of this ourselves. So I always tell people just, type in Black Stax, BLACK_STAX. You'll get to read some stories. You'll see some interviews. They'll tell you where to find us. But I also like to tell people, if you really want to support artists, go to their band camps, go to things of those type of platforms where they're actually getting the fair amount for what it is that they're putting out. Streaming services are great. There are ways that people can hear you all over the world. We don't hate on them, but we also want people to know, if you support artists, make sure that you make a contribution to those artists. If it's not through finance, maybe it's through an opportunity, maybe it's through an interview, maybe it's through a conversation, maybe it's just a note that you send them. It's so important to us because we understand that everyone has things going on in their worlds and their lives. We do too, and we want to be able to share this music in a very authentic way so that when it hits you, you feel it. You think, like you were talking about earlier, every show is different. Everything is, we do things not as cookie cutter, but as from scratch, how they feel to you. So it might be a little more sugar in it, might be a little more salt, it might be a little more flour, but that cookie's gonna come out and taste good every time. So please
Amen
tap
to
in
that.
with us. And as we like to say, stay Staxing.